boy Mr.Sacks, and today we gonna be doing a episode 66 review and a prediction for episode 67. Alright, so basically what happened, if you don't know, is that in episode 66 Vegito came, all people Vegito. And everybody's been waiting for Vegito. Basically, spoilers. Alright, spoilers are coming. I already gave one, but you should have shown me from the previews that Vegito was coming anyways. So, spoiler alerts coming. Click off the video, but drop a like before you do if you don't want to hear these spoilers. Alright. Basically, what happened is Vegito was fighting and Goku and Vegeta were fighting Zamasu, and they were basically getting their asses handed to them, and they hid behind the rock, and that's when Goku proposed the idea of fusion. And Vegeta being stubborn, not liking to fuse, said no. And what happened was they eventually agreed to, because it was a dire moment. And basically after they fused, they were basically on par, if not stronger than the fusion than the merge Zamasu. And merge Zamasu, before the Vegito fusion, you saw the mutation in the previews when he had purple skin. Yeah, Goku had did that to him, get enough damage, so that part would come up, and and then he had attacked him. He was starting to attack him on the side until he got overpowered. Then that's when they fused into Vegito. Vegito was he was beating Zamasu at first, but then Zamasu knocked him on his ass, and before he got knocked on his ass, he used the final Kamehameha wave. I like Kamehameha, but a lot of people get on people when they don't say it right. So he used the final Kamehameha wave, and I'm telling you, it was gorgeous, amazing. It did not kill him though, but eventually they were fighting, and Vegito got knocked on his ass, and right as he's about to pull out the psionic blade, thanks to kudos to Geek Them 101 for coming up with the name, but right when Zamasu was about to pull out the psionic blade, fandom, I'm telling you, fandom, because Vegito pulls out his spirit sword like everybody wanted him to, and he stabs Zamasu straight in his stomach. And Zamasu laughs, and Vegito says, don't you understand you're not immortal anymore? And he says, don't you know you're not immortal anymore? And Vegito says, don't you understand? That's what I understand. That's what I wrote. Basically just weird from right there. Basically what happened afterwards is I can't remember, sorry, but what I do know is that eventually Vegito gets knocked down again, and Zamasu was about to hit him with the psionic blade again, and flashback to Trunks' Mikey, I think her name is, gives Trunks the broken sword back, and Trunks somehow, it's kind of bad writing, but it's an amazing episode. Somehow, Trunks, which you have never seen him do before, he makes a keyblade out of the broken sword, and he flies over to Zamasu and blocks his blade from hitting Vegeta right before he gets hit. It's amazing. But basically what they're sword fighting and stuff, and eventually Trunks stabs him, and then it's not gory though, it's just very violent. Eventually, Trunks slices up his body, like through his chin, and what happens afterwards is basically the energy from his sword explodes inside of Zamasu and he dies. And then that's when the previews come in. And you see, I don't care. I'm not going to describe the previews except one big thing that you see the Xeno King. And so, for the prediction for episode 67, what I predict is that after Trunks kills him, Goku will call the Xeno King for some odd reason, which I don't have a theory for right now. The Xeno King will come down and immediately demand that Goku either plays with him in return for calling him for this odd reason, or he reveals who he wanted to be his play buddy or whatever, and that's the ending. So yeah, have a great day, Mr. Sacks. Stay lit, subscribe, Team Sacks. Let's get it.